You want to start? You want to start? Announce something or what? No. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. And we are going to start now with the next session. We are now going to start with the next session. And 10 minutes. Yes, okay. And I just got the order to remind the speakers, please stick to 10 minutes of your presentation, if possible. 10 minutes, yes, plus 5 minutes of discussion. You may have 12 minutes plus 3 minutes of discussion, if possible, okay? And for the first speaker, I would like to welcome Mufida Tigui. She's from Tunisia, and she will present today about evaluation of machine milking performance. Thank you very much, Mufida, for coming. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Pamela. Thank you very much. I see that the audience is a little bit shortened. I would like first to thank the organizing committee for giving us this opportunity to be with you to present our work. Today I will be talking a little bit of valuation. I'm sorry, but I think that there is a problem with my presentation. Evaluation of machine milking performance and milkability for dromedary camels using milk flow curves. It is one way to record and have some information about the milk ejection, the milk flow, and the milk quantity of the camels. Okay. So if we talk about money, camel milk has been estimated to be a really promising market, and the industry of camel milk has been estimated to reach $14 billion by 2031. This is, I'm not going to take a lot of time on this because in the morning session, a lot of colleagues have talking about the importance of camel milk as therapeutic or maybe having some activities interesting. That's why the demand for camel milk has been increasing almost around the world. And after the COVID pandemic, a lot of increased recognition of camel milk value that caused an important demand for camel milk. And we can see now in the market a lot of products, camel milk, pasteurized camel milk, cheese, different products from camel milk around the world has been commercialized increasingly. So as a result, we have starting breeding camels in an intensive way. And to do that, we introduced also machine milking. And in some intensive farms, we have started milking them 20 years ago. But we have to understand before that the specificity of the camel. I keep hearing camel is not cows. Of course, camels are not cows. We have to understand before applying such technique the behavioral and physiological response during milking. We have to also have an adequate machine for different conformation of the udder. We have to adapt the machine for efficient emptying of the udder, and also to have an adequate settings of the machines before starting milking the camels with machine milking. So we have to find out ways to evaluate the milkability of these animals and to evaluate the milking process. So the problem that we have, there is a lot of devices in the market that enable us to evaluate the milkability of animals and the milking process. The problem is that these devices, including the one that we use, which is the lactocorder, are approved only for bovine species, ewes, goats, buffalo, but none of them is approved for camels or nor tested for camels. If we look at the studies that have been used, for instance, using lactocorder, we have 58% of the studies concerned cows evaluation, 22% for goats, and less than 1% for camels, which includes our studies, and some studies have been done in Saudi Arabia. So what is the lactocorder? This device that we used to evaluate the milkability and to evaluate the milking process. It is a device that provides electronic data to measure actual milk flow, allowing to measure milk fraction, milk volume, the milk flow, average and the maximum milk flow. These data comes from a probe made from 60 single electrodes for measuring the filling level of the milk. It gives us like one lecture every 0.7 seconds. So with these data, we can draw a graphic illustration that gives us an idea about how the milk has been extracted from the udder. So the objective of the study is to evaluate the feasibility of using lactocorder as a diagnostic tool to evaluate milking characteristics of the dairy camels, and highlight the possible flow in milk flow ejection curves analysis. For that, we used our experimental herd at the Arid Land Institute from the experimental farm of Shenshu. And these animals were kept in under intensive system. We used, during the first studies, we used the portable machine milking, and then we shifted to the milking parlor. Mainly, we used 48 kilopascal vacuum level and 60 pulse per minute, and the ratio that we used for our machine was 60 to 40. The milking routine included the cleaning and tactile stimulation of the udder. When we used these camels, were perfectly trained to milk with machine without the presence of the calf. So we do a tactile stimulation, a rapid tactile stimulation of 15 seconds, and then we attach the milking clusters. And by the end of the milking, we just dip the teats in iodine solution for hygiene purposes. The milk flow treats were, after that, have been treated with a software called LactoPro that comes with the lactocorder apparatus. And we have been able to record 808 measurements. These measurements have been screened. After screening, we discarded like 13% of the data because of some accidents that happened during the milking. For instance, when the camel has been disturbed, we discard these data, or for even when the camel drop her clusters, we discard these data. And 71% of the data we kept it and did the analysis, and it regarded only the morning milking session, because there is a difference between morning milking and evening milking sessions. So the main milk yield for these animals were 5.19 kilograms per day and 3.48 per milking session during the morning milking session. What is interesting is that our camels produced between 1.7 and 10 kilograms per day, and this is include the milking during all the lactation period. That's why we have little milk at the end of lactation, and we had a maximum milk production of 10 kilograms per day. The highest milk flow recorded 2.23, and we reached almost 5 kilograms per minute, which is almost the highest milk flow that we record in bovine species, which means that camels have sometimes treats like bovine in the milk flow. Time to milk ejection is less than 1 minute, and the maximum milk, the milk flow duration, milking duration was 3.42 minutes. So to evaluate camel milkability, I'm going to try to explain what does this exactly mean. I don't have, I think, it show. Okay, so we have sometimes two different separate milk flow, which means that the cisternal milk here has been ejected before the arrival of the alveolar milk, which means before the milk ejection of the camel. Okay. The apparatus allow us also to have records of the quantity of the milk and data about the animal, and then We have we can measure the milk ejection time only by seeing the milk flow on the graph. We can also see the highest milk peak flow and the decreasing phase and the total duration of the milk ejection. Okay. So after that, we tried to describe our milk flow. We found three main types, which are the milk, we call them type 1, type 2, and type 3 milk flows. Type 1 is characterized by a high milk flow, which describes the best camel milkability. And then we have the type 2, which is intermediate, but still acceptable milk flow for camels. And the least one is the type 3 milk flow kinetics, which means that the camel milk is drawn from the udder in long time. As you can see, more than 4 minutes to draw the milk, which means that these are the least preferred type of camels. For instance, when I give you an example. For instance, here if we have the same milk production for two different animals. This one took less than two minutes to give all the milk, and the other one in red, it took like 5 minutes to complete the other, and it has a really bad milk flow ejection. We can see also sometimes with different animals, we have different milk flow patterns. As you can see, this one is the better one. This one also has the high milk flow pattern, and the other empty in 1 minute. The faster the other is emptied, and the quicker is the better, because less the other is under the vacuum effect. And as you can see, there is a thin red line, which means that the animal did not give her milk for 12 minutes. She didn't give her milk. So sometimes we have with the same animal, which represents only less than 10% of the herd. These are animals like give this different because of their temper. They have different tempers, so fearful animals give sometimes these kind of milk. And we can also detect if there is this kind of milk flow when we have decline phases, which means that the udder is not homogeneous with different udders. Okay, it doesn't work. Sorry. I'm gonna skip rapidly to the end. Okay, these are different for the same animal. When we do apply different milking process, we can see different response of the animal. In the green line, if you can see here, the animal was stressed and it didn't give her milk. This is to emphasize the importance of the milking environment when we do machine milking. You have to keep your animal calm and to have a perfect response of milking. So I'm gonna skip because it's they give me 10 minutes only. Okay. So this is, I wanted to show you this one also. When the animal is really stressed, we are obliged sometimes to inject oxytocin so we can empty the udder. As you can see here, for like 6 minutes, the animal didn't give her milk because it was stressed. We had to inject oxytocin like in here, and after 30 seconds, she gave her milk. So we have to be really careful when doing machine milking. We have to stimulate the animal. We have to keep the environment really calm. Don't bring stranger people. So if you train your camels, they can give their milk without the presence of the calf, without the injection of oxytocin, but you have to respect all the rights, the right practice for machine milking. Okay. I'm gonna conclude. So for the conclusion, I can say that milk flow curves generated by lactocarder have been a practical useful way to assess the milkability. Lactocarder could be used to evaluate the milk practice and efficiently give idea about the milkability of the animal. And the behavioral physiological response of the camel could also be predicted by only regarding the shape of the milk emission kinetics. And I would like to thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mufida, for staying in time. And we would like now we have time for 2 questions, please. 2 questions, please.
Thank you for the great presentation. I just wonder, Doctor, have you tried using the music to reduce the anxiety and stress of the camel to see whether it works to improve the milking? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, not yet. We're just starting the process of machine making of camels. And what we have been trying is to prove to the people that if you stress your animal, just staying with the ground, if you stress your animal, he won't respond. He won't give you the milk. The milk ejection reflex is, you have to have oxytocin endogenous response. The oxytocin is an hormone that comes antagonist with the stress hormone. If you have high cortisol, the oxytocin won't be able to release the milk. So anything that calms the animal is good, is welcome. But the music, we didn't try that yet.
Okay. Thank you very much. So there was another question. Please keep the question short and the answer short. Thank you.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
عليكم السلام.
بالنسبة للأخت بغينا نسولوها عن كم تفوت الناقة تنحلب بهذه الطريقة، والطريقة اللي نعرفوا احنا تقليدية هي كان هذه الآلة اللي تمرق اللبن بلا ما الدرار نقولوا احنا الحوار والله تمريها بيدك، عادة نمروها باليد إلى عاد تمرية والله بالحوار. هاي الطريقة اللي قالت تفسرها لنا، وكم تفوت لمدة الناقة بهذه الطريقة العصرية؟ كم تفوت تنحلب المدة؟ مرحبا بك.
نجاوب بالعربي. بالنسبه للتدرير من الاحسن انك تدررها بالايد هذه، لكن احنا ندربوها انها تتدرر من غير ولادها 15 ثانيه ونركبوا الماكينه، لان الماكينه قادره وحدها باش تدرر الناقه، تاخذ اقل من دقيقه وتدرر الناقه. نعودوها هكا باش نهربوا، باش نبعدوا على الحوار كي يبدا يرضع ينجم يمسخ الذراع وبرشا حاجات اخرين. بالنسبه للمده اللي تبقى تحلب فيها بالطريقه هذه، احنا نعطوا شهرين للقعود يرضع هو، بعد شهرين من الحلابه ندخلوا الحلب الالي تدريجيا، معنا في ظرف شهر تقريبا تدريجيا. بعد مده نفطموا الحوار ونخلوا الماكينه هي اللي تحلب، نبقوا 10 شهور نحلبوا بالماكينه.
Okay, thank you. There was one last question in the back.
اولا شكرا على العرض القيم. السؤال شق من السؤال طرحه الاخ قضيه ضرار الناقه. لا يمكن في قضيه في الصحراء يعرفوا عن الناقه من يموت عنها الحوار، لابد يعدل لها البو، والبو هو ذاك الحوار ديالها. يحاولوا ما امكن يقبضوا جلده ويلبسوه من الصوف ويحاولوا يكحزوه على الناقه كان الضر. فهي المبادره اللي عدلتوها هل تم تعميمها على العالم العربي؟ يعني الناس اللي عندهم من يعني يديروا الحلب الالي، واش كاين اقبال والله غير عندكم انتم في المنطقه؟ وشكرا.
احنا مبدئيا بدينا بالكسابه في تونس، بدينا ندربوا فيه، نعملوا في حلقات تدريبيه للكسابه في تونس باش تعلموا، لكن المعهد عندنا الحمد لله مجهز ونجموا زاد نستقبلوا حتى يعني حلقات تدريبيه دوليه وما فما حتى مشكل.
Thank you very much again, Mufida, for the very nice talk. I would like to ask all of you to stay until the end, please, because there will be some awards for the best talk and for the best poster presentation. So in your own interest, please stay and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. And I would like now to ask Dr. Kaskus Shehadeh, and he's a representative from Silicon Farm from Germany, and will give us ideas and new development for ideal milking machines. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I want to speak about today about these topics: ideal milking machine to increase milk production and improve milk quality in lactating camels. I go so quickly for this occurrence and number of camels in the world, and I see the highest camel in Ethiopia, and then in Sudan, south and north, and then in Ethiopia, the first one in the Somal, and then Mali and Chad and Niger and Mauritania, the more as 1 million, and the others Pakistan and Australia, and the other country lower than 1 million. No. The development of camel population in the world, we can see after 2010 increased sharply. And the meat and milk production also milk increased sharply. It's dependent for the number of camels, but meat it's a lower bit higher. And there are 3 main pillars for high milk production, better quality, and maintaining healthy others. Camel, first of all, high quality and quantity feed and water supply, and we know that due to the climate change, food and water shortage. Good hygiene in the rearing and milking places. This is very important point because the health measurement is very against disease, and complete and gentle milking in regular intervals. The aim of this study was to present the appropriate milking machine with the right working parameters for lactating camels. Our philosophy for milking in camels fully, completely, and quickly, and to keep the camels' udders healthy. This is the 3 component, very important. This means the work of the milking machine must be based on the natural suckling process of the calves. Every camel milking machine consists of 2 parts, hardware and software. Either with our milking technology the right way, this is the stimulator, and or with conventional milking machine what we use. The hardware including teat cup shell, teat liner, cluster base, short pulse pipe and short milk pipe, vacuum pump, vacuum tank, and vacuum meter and control valve and pulsator. The software milking machine, this is stimulation program if available, or vacuum program, pulsation program including pulsation frequency and pulsation ratio, and cleaning program if available. Which liner is sweets for my camels with different teat shapes and sizes. The color, it is not important. The structure and properties are important, and we can see the above is another structure. We can come back this liner. Is a silicone liner better than rubber teeth liner? Actually, our experience that silicone liner tend to be softer and adapt better to different teeth size and in hair, because the silicone liner has a good chemical and mechanical properties. This means they remain stable under different conditions. What happens if the wrong teeth liners is used in the milking machine? It is our experience on scientific and practical shown that many camels suffer from subclinical mastitis and pain when using wrong teeth liners with high vacuum level, and especially if the teeth is large. And we can see here the pain area in this way when the vacuum so high, over 40 kilopascal, and when the teeth is large. This is during the suction phase. Subsequently, we can see this teeth ring formation and the teeth and subclinical mastitis because we use a wrong liner. The teeth liner actually is the most important mechanical factor that influences the conditions of the teeth and the smooth milking process. And we can see in this phase of milking, this is a relief phase or the raw phase, and we can see this is the teeth is shorter, and the teeth not many fully penetrate the liner. In this situation, the resulting in less or no teeth massage and concision of the teeth ends. We can found in the praxis, this is a camel in north of Germany. We have a well-formed udder, but the teeth very short. This is our liner. We have patented this liner, and see, this new teeth liner have unique properties that are ideal for maintaining teeth health during machine milking in all lactating camels. And the mouthpiece in this liner has a wave-shaped design that allows easy adjustment to the different teeth sites in a head. The contact surface emerge between the stimulation, this name for this liner is stimular stressless teeth liner with the teeth in the mouthpiece is the immer become wider, as we see here, wider as the normal teeth liner, and softer, so that there is no negative influence on the conditions of the teeth. This is during the suction phase. The important phase that the constant supply of fresh immune cells from the vascular blood in the teeth tip, it is regular replacement of the keratin and the teeth canal after each machine milking are absolutely necessary. That's when the cool can be achieved if the correct teeth liner vacuum or lower vacuum and used milking machine. Very interesting that this liner optimal for removal teeth, the teeth during after stimulation, the oxytocin release from pituitary gland and until the teeth cups are removed. Usually the teeth liner closes directly under the teeth tip during the D phase. That's mean in the relief phase and of the pulse cycle, and massage blood and lymph upwards. Very important point. Excuse me. No. A very important point here that the blood and lymph circulate during the relief phase to minimizing disruption to the normal blood supply to the teeth. This teeth liner with biomilker, as called biomilker, is this is the solution for our situation, and we can the vacuum stable under the teeth, and with this teeth cup, the pressure of the teeth in the not so high in the relief phase. This is interestingly, this diagram during the both phases of suction phase, we can see the vacuum in the pulsation chamber and in the inner chamber the same, 38 kilopascal in the suction phase, and in relief phase, the vacuum in the pulsation chamber 0 and in the inner chamber 20 kilopascal. This is very important point to accelerate blood circulation and the teeth tip. Which criteria should be considered when selecting the appropriate milking machine for lactating camels? I go quickly here. It is possible when use a quarter individual milking machine. This particularly suitable for all udder and teeth shapes, which is very important in camels. As we see in this picture, that this quarter smaller as the others, and in this our milker is possible to milk without problems in this situation. This is in this situation, the contamination is fundamentally impossible with this system because the teeth cups are not connected to each other. And this is the unit, our unit in the stimulator for camels in a farm in commercial farm in Switzerland. It is easy to attach the teeth cup and the teeth with one hand. In this way, only accident and injury is possible during the milking avoided. We recommend to use low vacuum, not more as 36 to 38 kilopascal, because the higher vacuum, it is not for the teeth, it is not so healthy, and was enough also open the teeth during milking, and low vacuum may be enough to empty the udder completely. Consequently, when we use the higher milking vacuum, the teeth liner with the teeth with the ring formation and subclinical mastitis. We recommend also the pulse frequency 90 cycles per minute and pulsation ratio 65 to 35 or 60-40. We use a sequential pulsation that's made from quarter A, B, C, D. This is 4 quarters. And the difference from time, 25%, very important to during the suction phase, that's stable vacuum. This is very important point. And to consider observation of the calf during suckling in this situation. Which parameter reflect successful machine milking process? The first of all, the triggering of milk ejection reflects a good parameter. The camel remain calm, and when the teeth cups are touched and during the milking process, and the camels ruminate during milking. This is, in conclusion, ideal milking machine to increase milk production and to improve milk quality. We use following parameters: low vacuum, 36 to 38 kilopascal, pulsation rate 90 cycles per minute, and pulsation ratio 65 to 35, and low line for milk, line in the parlor. And we use the wave-shaped teeth liner. Consequently, the milking machine ideal, efficient, safe, stressless, smoothly. It's possible to, after successful milking machine, to increase the milk production. Yes, of course, because the emptying of the udder promotes the milk synthesis and secretion in the alveoli. And it is possible to increase the fat content. Yes, I come to, and increase the protein, because somatic cells stay lower and the protein increase, because somatic cell produce the enzyme plasmin, which produces the protein in the milk. And I come to the summary. An ideal milking machine adapts to the morphological, anatomical, and physiological characteristics of the udder and teeth of lactating camels, and it should achieve a physiologically ideal milking process, meeting high animal welfare standard for increased milk production with high quality standard. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for this very interesting presentation, and we have time for only one question, please. Fida?
Thank you very much. Dr. Shahada?
Yeah.
I've been like assessing your presentation for a long time now, and I have seen the evaluation of your process and of the technology that you have been doing since, like, I think 2009. I've seen this. But, and you have improved the prototype. I see that it became really respectable for the other. But the problem is, did you have an economical efficiency study of this machine? Does it cost, and the cost of the machine for the breeder, is it effective for the breeders?
Thank you for this question. Actually, we tested that in cows, and the results was very good. The milk yield increased significantly, fat increased significantly, protein increased significantly, and somatic cell count decreased significantly, and lactose. And we plan to test that in Camel's farm.
Thank you very much. Please give a clap again for our speaker here. And I would like to announce our next speaker, Al-Rarat Asma. Okay, sorry. It's the last author, thank you. So Soumeya, and from the Abdel Malik ASARI University in Morocco. Sorry? From UM6. Sorry. I'm just reading what is written in the proceedings. Okay. So, welcome, and you will talk about physiochemical and sensory quality of camel meat. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Today, I am presenting you the results of our statistical work entitled Chemical Composition and Sensory Properties of Camel Meat Quality using a meta-analysis and meta-regression study. Sorry. As already discussed in the conference, sorry, how it works? In the green?
No, it's this one. Go forward. Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you. As already discussed in this conference, camels are livestock for harsh and dry conditions, and the cattle is mainly distributed in Asia and African countries. It's contributed to the livelihood of people in these climatic conditions. Also, camel meat is increasingly recognized for its nutritional and sensory qualities, especially its lean nature and its potential health benefits. Its nutritive value vary according to several factors, including species, age of animals, breeding system, and other management practices. The objective of our study is to systematically assess the chemical composition and sensory properties of camel meat from data published in these countries all over the world. Also, to conduct meta-analysis and meta-regression study to evaluate the factors that contribute or moderators that contribute to the variation in these studies. To do our analysis, we worked with the 4 databases with the search terms which are synonyms of camels: Camelus, Dromedarius, Bactrianus, and meat quality, meat composition, meat analysis, and chemical composition. We had many papers obtained with these keywords, so we had to select and screen for papers that we will use for our analysis, including several inclusion criteria. The paper should be full original papers published, especially in English, to avoid any language misunderstanding. Also, we choose the period between 1991 and 2024, and the paper should report at least one of our interested parameters. We excluded paper abstracts, letters to editors, conference proceedings, and personal communications and published data, and also some papers that were related to cow or goat meat. We obtained 56 studies, about 40,453 meat camel samples, which were published in 12 countries and mainly in Arabia Saudi. Sorry. Okay, I will go. For our statistical analysis, we used the pooled data for with the inverse variance weighting for a single main parameter. We used the Jackson method for confidence interval. We also measured heterogeneity between these studies using Cochran and also Tau. We used restricted the maximum likelihood to estimate these parameters. And as we found a huge heterogeneity between our studies, we used random effect model. We also evaluated the bias in publications as some using Eger regression tests and rank correlation tests. We found some bias in some parameters, including pH, intramuscular fat, ash, sarcometer letter, and sensory properties. But fortunately, there is another parameters, which is Rosenberg number, which was allowed us to not take into account this publication bias. We also measured heterogeneity, and it was almost higher than 60% for almost all the measured parameters. For the chemical composition, we found that camel had similar to goat meat higher pH compared to lamb. Also, camel and goat have similar protein content compared to literature. Camel meat was also much leaner compared to other species, and it tends to have higher ash contact compared to them. For the physical parameters, camel meat was characterized by higher expressed juice percentage, as it is related to water holding, higher water holding capacity and lower fat. Higher shear force, which is related to some parameters, including longer sarcometer length and higher myofibril fragmentation index, testifying to do a low texture, to do a lower tenderness of camel meat. And also, it is generally in appearance, it is generally a darker and redder due to myoglobin, and it is less lower yellow, probably due to the lower fat content. Concerning sensory properties, camel meat was less tender compared to other species. It has a different flavor, and it is typically leaner, less juicy than beef or lamb. It also tends to be less cohesive, which is related to the fibers, as I already mentioned. We conducted, as we had higher heterogeneity and not a publication bias, we had the right to conduct a subgroup analysis. First factor was the breeding system. So we found that the live weight at slaughter was higher in extensive system, contrary to what was expected by us, which testifies to the difficulty to domesticate this species. Also, to the need to reevaluate the nutritional strategies used especially in intensive system, which shows a problem. We should add additional research on specific factors within the extensive system to understand these results, including natural resources availability, forage quality, camel movements, and feeding behavior. Also in extensive system, further research should be conducted on intensive system to understand results related to shear force, about tenderness of meat and expressed juice, related to fattening period, space allowance, and exercise levels. Also, due to lower lightness and redness and yellowness in extensive system, we should also think about conducting maybe our fattening trials in intensive, maybe semi-intensive systems. Also, concerning sensory properties, the flavor, juiciness, and tenderness were higher in extensive system, which encourages us to adopt this natural grazing and from this diversity and promotes this system while maintaining sustainability of rangelands. Also, camel species. Also, the results, the crossbred showed interesting results concerning protein, ash, and fat, which give us ideas about possible breeding practices. Sorry, I will pass. The live weight at slaughter was also higher for animals, older animals, more than 6 years, which is logical. However, middle-aged animals had improved meat appearance and tenderness. Camel from male animals showed interesting results in appearance properties concerning redness and lower moisture. We also subgroup analysis concerned country where the study was conducted, and for example, the final weight at slaughter was higher in China. The moisture content was higher in Iran and in Ethiopia. Ash was higher in Ethiopia also and Iran. Fat content was higher in Iran and Algeria. Cooking loss was higher in Iran and Egypt. And the shear force was higher in Sudan. The lightness was higher in Egypt. And the redness was higher in Algeria. We conclude that extensive systems showed interesting results related to higher meat tenderness and sensory properties, but lower appearance parameters, including lightness and redness. And meat from middle animal aged showed compromise between weight and quality. Also, meat from China was interesting as it was characterized by higher weight at slaughter and proteins. We recommend to promote extensive systems while ensuring the sustainability of these rangelands, maintaining good grazing practices, and also breeding strategies to improve meat quality, especially the variability that we showed also existing between different countries. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for sticking for the time. And we have time for 2 questions, please. Yeah, one question is here and one is to the end. So first, okay, ladies.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm not an expert of meat quality, but I want to give just a recommendation because I haven't seen or hear about stratification of the data according to the number of days after the slaughter. So this may affect, for example, trait like the tenderness of the meat. So I suggest you to make a further stratification of the data to get a real comparison about the different type of study published. So it's just a consideration, sorry. Okay.
Thank you so much. We have also considered other parameters, including days after slaughter, and also the muscle, the type of muscle, which also affects composition of meat, but we didn't have enough time to present. Thank you so much.
The second question, please. Yeah, the front.
السلام عليكم. أولاً أشكر المؤسسات اللي ساهرت على تنظيم هذا المؤتمر الدولي. أولاً نشكر المؤسسات اللي ساهرت على تنظيم هذا المؤتمر الدولي اللي يخص هذا المكون اللي يعني نحن هون في المناطق الصحراوية اللي هو الإبل، واللي احنا معتادين على وكيل لحمها ونشربوا لبنها ونعرفوا مالي جودتها. لاحظت عنكم قلتوا عن هذه التربية اللي تعود مهم للفاجا انتونسيف، عنك تعود تجيب العلف للبل في مزرعة معينة عن نعود أفضل جودة. وإحنا ضريك عندنا تجربة منين نجيبوا البل من المراعي والله الماعز والله الغنم، جينا جودة في اللحم وفي اللبن نفطنوا. إحنا كانكم درتوا تحاليل على ذا النوع والله شنو هي الفكره. لانك إذا أعطيته هذاك العلف اللي ينعطى البقر وينعطى الماعز ونعطى البل، أعتقد عن ما تعود خصوصية هون في حليب البل وحليب حليب الماعز وحليب البقر. وشكرا.
شكرا على السؤال ديالك. اون فيت الدراسه اللي كنا درنا تقريبا كتاكد الهضره اللي قلتي. يعني خدينا دراسات اللي داروا في كاع البلدان وخرجنا منهم المعلومات واناليزيناهم وقارنا بين انه الدراسات اللي خدموا بالعلف والدراسات اللي غير كيبقاو في المراعي المكثف وشبه المكثف. ولاحظنا بانه بالنسبه للجوده ديال اللحم هي اللي كانت مدروسه في هذا الشق هذا، بانه مازال بحال البل مازال كيقاوم. يعني بصح بغينا نزيدوا الانتاجيه، ولكن حنا خصنا ما نبعدوهمش بزاف على المراعي. يعني نستافدوا من دوك المراعي، بوتيتر نجيبوا دوك النباتات ندرسوهم وهما النيت اللي نقويو باش نعطيو لهم، ولكن ما نحيدوهمش دقه واحده. شكرا.
Thank you very much. So again, thank you very much for your presentation. Our next speaker is Professor Amiri again, and you will talk about the influence of breeding systems on the milk composition in Laayoune. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Dear colleagues, I'm honored to present you this topic on behalf of my colleague Ihsan Mnowar. She is very tired because she worked a lot to prepare this seminar. Please give a good applause to all the team that's helped for this Congress. Thank you very much. Thanks. The presentation is about the effects of breeding systems and camel populations on milk composition in العيون الساقية الحمراء, Morocco. From yesterday, I gave a lot of information, and my colleagues also about the camels in this area. You learned that it's one ham type. You learned that it's about 180,000 heads. You learned that it's about milk and meat. Then I will not take a lot of time to present all of this. I will go directly to have some time more. I will go directly to the breeding system. I have to underline that the breeding system from Camelids et al. 2020 classified to four types based on herd size, mobility management, vaccination practices, and feed supplementation. Like you see here, this lady really gave some data based to clarify this differentiation between breeds, between systems of rearing system, or from this nice presentation from our colleague Sumaya. She presented lots, and Poliana this morning also. They present lots about nutritional value, composition, organic quality, and physicochemical properties of this milk. Now, I think that all of us learned a lot in this morning about this precious really components from this nice animal. Our question research was, how do breeding systems affect camel milk composition? Are there compositional differences between Marmori and Ghizni camel populations? And the study objectives was assess the impact of breeding system on milk composition, analyze potential milk composition differences between Marmori and Ghizni population, support the breeder optimizing milk production in response to environmental and market demands. For this, we really work on one regional area, which is the عيون ساقية الحمراء and Samara. The animals populations were Marmori versus Ghazni, and the breeding systems were extensive system, traditional grazing on Sahara rangelands, and semi-intensive system, including feed supplementation and reducing grazing in rangelands. The total samples was 62 milk samples from both breed systems, and analysis parameters were pH, total dissolved solids, salt, ash, proteins, and water contents. The study of the analysis of this of the results, the outcome of this study was as follow, and we show that when we took the results in global, the camel milk from العيون الساقية الحمراء shows stable physicochemical properties with a slight variation in terms of fat and proteins contents, while we have no significant effects on camel milk composition. We have a significant influence of on fat content and density, high significant effects on productivity and salt when considering the breeding system. But from this nice presentation from Alfredo this morning, I will to highlight that this is just a preliminary result, and we will go deeply after that. During this year, we will go deeply to analyze more proteins and other components in this milk, taking in consideration these variables and also others like lactation period and other variables. As a conclusion, the camel milk population, there is no significant effects on the overall composition of camel milk. Breeding system, the semi-intensive system results in high fat content, density, conductivity, and salt levels in camel milk compared to extensive system. And the practical implication, this finding suggests that semi-intensive practices can enhance certain milk quality parameters, offering potential benefits for improving camel milk production in the region. I would like to really thank all the co-author and the direct participants, ASARI interns, ASARI staff, logistics team, local breeders, regional authorities, and direction, and all others. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, also for keeping it short. And so we have time for 3 questions this time, please.
Thank you for this presentation. I see that the fat percent lower than protein. It's actually, this is the right for the this type, or it is possible with the milking not completely. We know that the fat percent in the end of the milking, the very high fat percent.
Yes, you are right, because we just really take our samples after that the calves have some milk, and after we get the samples, and we, like I showed it yesterday, that at least 40 to 42% of this milk still is estimated for the calf. Then it's not the whole milk. We have to make a lot of effort to really improve the data collection.
Thank you.
We are aware about that. Don't worry. Next time, inshallah, we will, inshallah.
Another question? Yes, please.
شكرا الأستاذة بشرى على هذا العرض القيم والمفيد. احنا بالنسبة للمرموري نعرفوها هي الناقة اللي ما تقاوم الشمس ولا تقاوم البرد، وهي من البنها ياسر تحلب 4 يترو يا غير البنها ماسخ. وبالنسبة للقرزني البنها قليل يا غير البنها حلو. يعني عنه الضيف منين يجينا ديما نخلوا له ناقة المغرب ذيك هي ناقة القرزري. هل بالنسبة لهذه التفاصيل طلعتم عليها في بحثكم بالنسبة للجهة؟ وشكرا.
الحمد لله احنا هاد النتائج اللي وريتكم هنا اشتغلوا فيها بزاف ديال الطلبه مع الاخوات هنا، مع احسان بالاخص. اكثر من 10 طالب ديال الماستر اللي دازوا في هذه الدراسه هذه، وحنا ان شاء الله باقيين انا متفقه معك بان المرموري كتعطي العدد كثير، ولا الفوليوم، شنو الفوليوم، الكميه كبيره ديال الحليب اكثر من، ولكن بالنسبه للحلاوه كنظن هو السيستم، النظام الرعوي غادي ياثر اكثر على جوده الحليب اكثر من شيء اخر. الى بما اننا كنقدروا بانها 4 لترات حتى ل5 لترات عند المرموري، والاخرى عندها 2.5 ديال اللترات، كنظن لنا ضربنا في العدد ديال اللتروات هاد النتائج كلها غادي تغيروا، فهمتي؟ اذا هذه حنا كنرجعوها لواحد الكميه صغيره ديال الحليب، ولكن الا خدينا في المجمل غادي تكون المرموري افضل ولا الاخرى افضل. ما جربتش في الحقيقه، ولا احسن باقا ما جربتش. شكرا لكم. كنظن ما بقى حتى شي سؤال.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Good. Our next speaker comes from a very long-standing and experienced team of Camelid researchers, Professor Khasmi and Professor Farr, and they are from Hassan II University in Casablanca. And you will go into a show. Professor Khasmi will show us effect of pre-slaughter stress on meat composition in the Arabian camel. Thank you very much for coming. The stage is yours.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Yes. Yes. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. First of all, I am very pleased and very honored to participate to this international manifestation. I would like to thank the organizer committee, the chairman, and all the audience. I will speak about the effects of pre-slaughter stress on homeostasis and meat composition in the Arabian camel. It's largely known that stress associated generally with oxidant stress is able to impact several physiological, biochemical, behavioral, endocrinian, immune function, reproduction and production potentiality in the camel. I summarized the essential effects mediated by the stress in domestic animals. Concerning the publication about the impacts of stress on the physiology and the quality of animal products, such as milk and meat, by comparison to another domestic animals, the number of publications in this topic is largely low, like its represented from a research databases based on Science Direct, PubMed, and Scopus publications. Concerning the works realized on the camel welfare, our country is good placed and classified concerning this topic. Generally, the transport, loading, unloading, stabling, and slaughtering are the most stressful situations of the dromedary camel. In a study, we have monitored the effects of pre-slaughter and slaughter operations to which the dromedary is exposed in the slaughterhouses of Morocco, based on a survey carried out in different regions of Morocco to analyze the following data concerning the mean of transport, the duration of several steps, such as weight duration and weight duration of loading and loading, the duration of stabling before slaughter, and also the duration of accompaniment of the dromedary camel into the room, the slaughterhouse room. And we found that the most of vehicles used were multi-purpose with slippery floor and are not adapted or designed for the transport of the animals, not equipped with loading and unloading devices, and offer no protection against environmental constraints. Camels were rarely handled by untrained and unskilled operators and are transported without bedding, and their transport is not sufficiently regulated by law, and there are no official checks on the welfare of these animals during transport. The most of camels were loaded and accompanied to large area and slaughter room by using pushes and pulls by ropes with restraints of the fur lamp and in the absence of ramps. All camels were slaughtered according to the traditional method without any stunning. Alors, in these pictures, we can say the stressful situations under which the dromedary camels are generally exposed. It's blocked, huh? Ah, okay. In this work, we have evaluated the impacts of transport distance on stress biomarkers levels in the dromedary camel, and we found that high road transport distance is very stressful in camel and increased hematocrit, hemolysis, cortisol levels, glucose and lactate concentrations in serum. In another work, we have evaluated the effects of loading density in the dromedary camel, and we have found that an increase of the loading density, 1.44 to 1.80 square meter per camel during transport, is considered as a stressful factor because it was able to increase significantly rectal temperatures, heart rate and heart rate and respiratory rate, hemolysis, and several biochemical parameters associated to a decrease in immune function. In this work, we have evaluated the effects of transportation stress during the hot, dry season on some hematological and physiological parameters, and we found that road transportation associated to heat induced a significant increase on all parameters discussed above. In this work, we evaluated the pre-slaughter stress, the effects of pre-slaughter stress responses during waiting time at leurage in dromedary camel. So, in camel after transport and unloading, a waiting period of 12 to 60 hours was more stressful because it increased all physiological and biochemical chemistry parameters and decreased the immune function. In this work, we evaluated the slaughter stress responses in the dromedary camel, And we found that traditional procedure without stunning was much more stressful and was able to alter all physiological parameters studied, and a decrease in immune function, hemolysis, glycemia, cortisolemia, and oxidation of lipids and protein in erythrocytes and in meat. In this work, we evaluated the impacts of the duration of stress steps before slaughter and at slaughter on the physicochemical and biochemical characteristics or parameters of meat in camel. And we found that exudation, cooking loss, and oxidation were significantly higher when duration of transport and loading and stabling were longest. In this work, we researched a correlation between circulating cortisol and indicators of stress and oxidant stress during the pre-slaughter operations in camels. So, a duration of waiting before loading more than 25 hours, loading more than 16 minutes, and loading more than 5 minutes, water and food deprivation before slaughter more than 25 hours, and accompaniment to the slaughter room more than 12 minutes, and a frequency of urination more than 3 times were responsible to induce high cortisol and oxidant stress, and cortisolemia was positively and significantly correlated with the frequency of urination. In this fact, we evaluated the impacts of stocking density associated to heat stress and the biochemical characteristics of meat, and we found that heat stress associated with high stocking density in the vehicle before slaughter induced the post-mortem decrease of pH and increase the oxidation, cooking loss, and oxidation of lipid and proteins in meat. High circulating levels of cortisol at slaughter were associated to postmortem oxidation and quality alteration of meat. Measuring serum cortisol at exogenation may be useful to predict the postmortem quality value of meat. Meat levels of 25 hydroxyvitamin D were negatively correlated with those of malondialdehyde, drip loss, and cooking loss. This metabolite of vitamin D may be implicated in antioxidant status and some quality parameters of meat. We can conclude that stress and oxidant stress during all pre-slaughter steps in the dromedary camel, such as transport distance, stocking density, thermal stress, loading and unloading, waiting period, water and food deprivation, accompaniment to slaughter room, slaughter procedure, were able to alter several physiological, biochemical, endocrinian, and behavior parameters in blood and in meat. The previous works was reviewed in a chapter which was published in a book titled The Dromedary Camel Behavior and Welfare. Conclusion, these results may guide herd managers, animal health practitioners, experienced advisors, and legislators in promoting optimal conditions and proposing welfare standards for camels on farms, markets, slaughterhouses, and during transport, and also during breeding, because to be able to ameliorate the production and reproduction and quality of animal products, we must neglect the stress on the camel and favorize a welfare of these species. I will finish by some recommendations, like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for sticking in time. It was very good. Thank you.
I haven't passed.
No, it's fine. Thank you very much. So we have time for 2 questions, please. To Professor Kass.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I have a question, please. If possible, to prepare before transport animals, preparing with feeding or water or other things to reduce the stress by transporting?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
What is the mechanism or the methods? Or the,
Mechanisms to ameliorate the situations on animals before transport. Before transport, we must form all participants in this work. Since the breedings, market, farm, and also the driver man, topography of roads, several mechanisms can be involved in this problem. It's not easy. Yeah. We must create a law, some law that oblige all participants, all personnel in this topic.
Thank you very much also for this very interesting presentation. Some disturbing pictures for us, of course. And one more question. Okay, then thank you very much again, Professor Khasmi, for this interesting talk. And we are coming now to the final speaker of the session, Dr. El Ayadi Soufianel from the IAV Hassan II in Rabat. Thank you very much.
Okay, how it's work?
Okay.
Oh, this one.
Here you press.
Okay, thank you. So, hello everyone. I'm pleased to present some results of my research entitled Feeding Behavior of Camel on Southern Rangeland of Morocco. So I will be brief in the introduction because so many things that were presented before by colleagues. So as you know, over past 2 decades, urbanization and population growth have changed the food demand for population, and it's particularly true in the southern region of Morocco, where camel products, especially milk, has increased, and as presented by our colleagues these few days, the level or the production levels has risen by 30 to 40% in these last 15 years. So all these factors have led to establishment of a new system, especially the peri-urban system, to meet the need of this large population. On another hand, the camel breeding systems, which are especially or exclusively extensive, are facing not only the restriction of the mobility, but also the negative impact of climate change that affect negatively the availability of pastoral resources. So these negative impacts of climate change, especially consecutive droughts, affect the availability of plant species, the water resources also, coupled with the specialization of production systems to a single production had led to intensify the changing the breeding systems. So all these factors lead us to ask how camels can adapt to these changes, and what is the effect on the daily spatial activities and intake, what we call feeding behavior. So to give or to provide some insight to this issue, our study has the following objectives. First, understand the spatial activities by describing the activities carried out on the pastures, and then characterize the botanical composition of the diets, and then estimate the intake. Our study was conducted on the Gelmi Mouadnoun region, a region characterized by an arid climate with an annual rainfall less than 150 millimeters and an average of temperature of, I think, 25 degrees C, reaching a maximum of 45 degrees C. So selection of the breeders was based on livestock farming systems. And despite some difficulties, like, for example, the difficulty to reach breeder on the pastures, the mobility of the breeder out of the region during the period of the study, we identified 5 herds, 5 breeders. 2 comes from the peri-urban system and 3 comes from the transhumant one. Our study, or the first part of the study, focused on identifying the herd, the breeders, so the general characteristic of the breeders, feeding practices, etc. And another part of the study focused on the pastures and vegetation, especially the ethnobotanical knowledge of breeders, to list of various available plants available on the pastures. Regarding the spatial behavior, all the flock were observed at an interval of 15 minutes during the departure to return from the pastures. And then we record the number of animals doing every activity to correspond to grazing or browsing. It's more convenient when we talk about camels. Walking and resting using this formula. Donc we calculate time spent on an activity per day per animal. So for the intake or the botanical composition of the diet, our study was based on the bite count techniques, which involve counting the number of the bites taken on each species. And for this, we observed 3 females aged 5 years old and older. And then excuse me. So for 8 times a day and for an interval of 10 minutes. And then we simulate the ingested ration by focused on the hand plucking methods, which involving manually collecting amounts which correspond to a camel bite with the help of the shepherd, of course. And then the samples were weighted, dried, and were weighted to calculate dry matter intake. And so the intake was calculated by grazing time multiplied by the sum of number of bites for each species multiplied by their corresponding mass of the bite. So as a result, as a function of the livestock systems, breeders adapt or different practices, different grazing strategies. For example, regarding the feeding practices, for the peri-urban systems, supplementation is given all the year. And in contrast, for the transhumant system, the supplementation is provided only for a certain period of the year and for only some categories of animals, especially pregnant females. And this supplementation was given or comes from 2 different ways, from purchased feed, concentrate, and also from the rented barley plots grazed by animals. So concerning or regarding the spatial activities, the half of the time spent by animals on the pastures was dedicated to grazing, which represents 54%, following by walking with 33%, and then resting, which represents 12%, without any significant effect of the system on these activities. So here we record also another activities is watering, and this activity concern also or mainly the transhumant breeders, because these breeders, while forming their grazing routes, they take into account the availability of water resources. For the evolution of these activities during the day, our study showed that the grazing and activity in the peri-urban systems intensifies at the midday and then decrease, giving way to walking. In contrast, for the transhumant system, the grazing activity remains constant. And for both systems, the resting activities intensified in the beginning in the afternoon without any impact of system on this activity. So here, an important thing to explain is the minimal value of the resting activity for the peri-urban systems. And this can be explained by the fact that these animals don't have access to water. And knowing that camels tend to rest a bit more after watering, in these systems, watering is occurred upon returning from the pastures. So the diet is mainly composed of shrubs with 68%, following by herbaceous plants, account for 21%, and trees 11%. And this composition can be changed according to other researchers working on the same area with the seasonal variation on the vegetation cover. So here's some details of this composition, and we record 23 species present in the pastures, and we observed that the diet is more diverse, as 19 species were browsed in the pastures, which representing more than 80% of the available pasture plant species in the pastures. And these plants are mainly Salsola, Atriplex, and famous plants in the region Lonea, what we call in Arabic Albina, and then some mixture of grasses. So here the graph present that as a function of the abundance of species, the camel graze on the abundant species and leaves the less abundant one. And this impacts significantly the number of bites per species and also the weight per bite. And here, as we showed, this vary or range from 0.3 to a maximum of 7, so it's the number of bites, and 0.5 to 3.6, and this parameter ranging, as I said, as a function of the abundance of some species. So the last parameters is the primary intake, and we show that these parameters vary from 10 to 15 kilograms per animal per day, with an average of 12.4, and without showing any significant difference between the two systems. And here, the important thing also that I have to explain is the difference between breeders, even breeders coming from the same systems, can be explained by the disparity of the floral composition of the grazing routes formed by or taken, followed by every breeders. For example, for this one, this is the species available in the grazing routes, and there are mainly less abundant species. And for this one, despite the despite that the grazing routes is less diverse, but the existing species are more abundant. So this impacts the number of biting per species and also the weight per species. So to conclude, I can say that camels are an eco-responsible species, if we can say, an environmentally friendly species, because while working as explained by colleagues in the first day of the conference, they take small bites from different plants, so they avoid the overgrazing of the pastures by grazing only the abundant species. And we recommend to enhance or to further enhance the study, that the study had to cover other period of the year and other categories of animals, especially pregnant, to assess if pregnancy can affect also the intake. And also, as or knowing that camels are browsers, very selective browsers, we should study also the chemical and nutritional composition of the diets. But before, we have to address and to determine the nutritional needs of our local population. And thank you for your presentation, for your attention.
Thank you very much for this very comprehensive study. And we have time for one question, please. Yes.
السلام عليكم، شكرا للأخ الدكتور على هذا العرض القيم. بالنسبة للمراعي الجهات الجنوبية الثلاثة، هناك نبتة هي في بعض المراعي تسمى العقاية. العقاية هذه تنبت في المناطق الساحلية المقربة من البحر، وهي تسبب عندما تكون فيها الجمال والله النوق اللي هي في فترة الحمل، هذه النوق في آخر السنة عندما تكون فيها الولادات تكون جل فصيلها معاق، فيها الإعاقة، وتسبب في مرض التشقاق. هذا التشقاق يصيب أرجل النوق. هل سبق لمعهدكم أن رأى هذه النبتة التي تسمى العقاية، ونحن مضطرون على تزويدكم بها مستقبلا؟ وشكرا.
شكرا بزاف على السؤال ديالك واضح. غير بالنسبه كما قلت في العرض ديالي، عندنا لقينا حنايا 23 نبته، نوع مختلف ديال النباتات اللي لقينا في الجهه ديال قلميم وادنون. وبالنسبه للنبته من بين دوك 23 قلنا 19 نبته كانت تكلاها الجمل كما كنقولوا، وكانوا بعض النباتات اللي كانوا الكسابه تمايا والناس اللي كيراعيو في دوك المناطق عطاونا تقريبا واحد 3 تسميات. عندي السميات ديالهم بالاسم العلمي، من بينهم بالاسم العلمي ما ذكرتهمش هنايا. الاخوان المختصين ما عرفتش واش يقدروا يعطونا بعض المعلومات عليهم. السلسوله من جهه سيدي فني، يعني من جهه المناطق الساحليه كما قال. وكانت حتى ما عرفتش واش كاين هنايا بعض الاخوان اللي مختصين في علم النباتات، فوربيا ونيكوتيانا وريسينيوس، حتى هما كانوا بعد النباتات اللي كانوا تذكروا في المنطقه واللي الجمل ما كياكلهمش، حيت كيديروا له بعض الاعراض بينهم الدياري، كان لي زافورتمون دونك تيطيح من بين. ولكن بالنسبه للعقايه كما قلتي كنا ذكرناها، وهي بالنسبه كدير لهم مشاكل بزاف. ومن بين المشاكل اللي حنا ما تطرقش في العرض ديالي ولا في البحث ديالي الاسباب ولا تاثير هذه النبته هذه على نقولوا الانتاجيه ديال هذا القطيع او على الصحه ديال هذا القطيع، بكثر ما تطرقت على التاثير ديال النباتات اللي كاينين في المرعى على الاستهلاك، وكيفاش كيتعامل الجمال مع القله ديال النباتات او اللي كاينين في المرعى. دونك هذا هو اللي غير هو من هذا واحد الموضوع اللي زعما اللي ضروري خص الواحد يتطرق ليه، وفي ابحاث وحدين اخرين، ونشوفوا علاش لا ان شاء الله بالتعاون معكم كيفاش نقدروا نعرفوا هادشي. شكرا.
Thank you very much. we should move on to the break. Maybe you can talk in the coffee break together. Thank you very much to all So after the coffee break, sorry, you.
Yeah, I guess we propose, Assalamu alaikum. We propose to continue with the closing ceremony, and then we leave the coffee break to the end, if you agree. So Badawi, I guess, will moderate this session. Thank you very much. Thank you, Pamela.
Thank you.
Hello again. So, ladies and gentlemen, so it's with great pleasure that we come now to one important highlight of this workshop. It's the awarding of prizes for outstanding prizes for posters and all presentations. So, as you have seen all, we think that it was a very successful workshop. Yes? Yeah? We'll start with that? Okay. So we will let the prizes for after this take-home message. So we will start with the take-home message, and we invite Professor, Khsmi to come here. Please take the stages for you.
Hello and good afternoon all. Assalamu alaikum. So we circulated some papers to the presenters and they sent us recommendations. We try to incorporate as much as possible to make sure that we include your recommendation. And few of you did not respond, but that's okay. We collected from our notes some of the recommendation as a message to take home. And I will start to say that from the first session, emphasis on strengthening capacity building and policy support to develop the camel sector in Africa. Yes, there could be other things that you suggested to us, but those are all highlighted the importance of the camel, which we all agree. That's why we are meeting here. So the other one for the South American camelid, apply for research grants, collaborate with colleagues to support researchers in Argentina and South America. Create a center for genetic selection and reproduction biotechnologies, mainly the embryo transfer and contribution to develop a package of tools to enhance outcome on artificial insemination. Develop a baseline data on camel-based production systems that will serve to develop research programs on biophysics and socio-economic issues. More to come here. To enhance production, reproductive biotechnology techniques like embryo transfer and cloning by somatic cell nuclear transfer need to be incorporated in camel breeding and for producing the parent breeding stock for desired traits. Judicial use of artificial insemination will improve productivity of male camels, and regulated use of chilled and frozen semen will ensure the spread of desirable genetic worldwide. I would say this is really important. Yes, we may not have, or the organizer may not have enough funds to support it at this moment. Enhance herd management practices by improving veterinary care and feeding strategies, particularly to reduce high mortality rates and address reproductive challenges, thereby boosting herd productivity. That's one of the main goals. Implement selective breeding strategies to enhance the genetic diversity of meat vocation camel populations, addressing moderate genetic diversity and signs of inbreeding through controlled breeding efforts. Establish conservation-focused genetic improvement schemes using distinct genetic clusters as a basis for breeding and conservation programs aimed at preserving both milk and meat population. Then one more, long-term strategic vision and action plans are urgently needed to assure inclusive and sustainable development of the sector, as well as balance between genetic progress and genetic conservation instances. Now, more on the other session, or the second day, promoting efficient research programs in several topics, including health issues, and are a heavy burden to the flourishing of the camel sector in the country. One health approach where animal, human, and ecosystem health are recognized as equally important. Combining this information with environmental data, we can establish an efficient One Health genomic surveillance center. Studies are necessary in camels to find causative functional variants to plan future camel breeding programs based on genetic selection, improving processing technologies, and addressing market integration for camel products. And the last one, establish African Animal Welfare Center and collect data about wild and feral animals. Thank you, Sheikh Abdi Jabbar, for the suggestion. And I conclude by this one. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. So now we reach the an important point, which is the awarding of prizes for outstanding oral and poster presentations. So over the past 3 days, we have seen a lot of talent, innovation, and sharing of knowledge. And we were very happy, really, to see it as a very successful conference. So we have 6 awards, 3 for all presentations, and 3 for poster presentations. For the all presentations, the selection committee have decided to give one prize for each session that we have seen, for the 3 sessions that we have seen over the past 3 days throughout all the conference. So I will start by the all presentation. So the third prize, the prize number 3 for the all presentation, is for, and it was for the session of camel nutrition and product valorization, and for the authors, a lot of authors, but the presenter was Al-Iyadi Sufyan. Please. I will ask Professor, why not, Bouhsini, to give this prize. Please, come in. Bouhsini, if you can, to the stage, please, if you can. Yes. Thank you. The second prize for the oral presentation was for the session of camel reproduction, and it was awarded for the presentation titled Advances in Camels Genetics and Health Management for the authors Adnan Anas, Shukr Iman, and Tawid Nadia. Adnan Anas, please come to the stage. I will ask Professor maybe Skidmore to give the prize. شنو هو؟ غدا ماشي مشكل. تفضل. And the winner is a young lady for the session of Socioeconomic and Production System is Marwa Brahmi. Please come to the stage. I may ask Professor Wani to deliver this prize. Please, you are invited to the stage. Thank you. So let's jump now to the poster presentations. And in the same way, we will start with the third position. It's for Zahir Raghia for her presentation concerning the camel. Please come to the stage. I may invite Professor Hamadi to deliver this prize. Please present to the stage. Second winner is for the poster presentation called Camel Milk Acid Profile by Breeding System Lactation Stage and Milking Time Meta-Analysis done by Al-Gharad Asma and Buqruh Sumaya. I may ask Pamela, please come. Stage, yes, you have to go to the stage. And the winner of the poster presentation is Muhammad Farh, Khadija Rashad, Abdurrahim Musahil, Rabab Tabit, and Muhammad Al-Khasmi for the presentation Fixed Oil of Nigella Seeds Protects the Enzymatic Antioxidant in the camel muscle against heat stress. Please come to the stage. I may ask Alfredo, please, could you come to stage? Thank you very much. Thank you. And now, as we come to the end of the conference, I invite the director of ASARI, Professor Kwisni, to deliver the speech of the closing. Please, you have the stage.
Well, thank you very much, Professor Badawi. Distinguished participants, delegates, presenters, partners, colleagues, and friends. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. So I would like first to thank you all for participating with us in this exciting conference. Organizing such an international conference on camelids to celebrate the year or the International Year of Camelids is one of the best ways to recognize the crucial role camelids play in sustaining millions of families living in one of the world's harshest environment. Through this international conference, the ASARI UM6P team organized, through this international conference that ASARI and UM6P Laayoune organized here in Laayoune, in collaboration with our main partner, Fusbukra Foundation, we have tried to demonstrate how local knowledge combined with innovation in genetics, nutrition, physiology, health, could drive sustainable development in camel farming, ensuring food security, income growth, and ecosystem preservation. As a first attempt by our research institute, ASARI, we tried through this conference, as you have seen, to offer to breeders, cooperatives, nutritionists, reproductive physiologists, geneticists, and socioeconomic scientists the opportunity to meet, discuss, learn from each other, and build collaboration. Maybe before I continue my speech, I would ask the IT team, please, if you can show the slide summarizing some key statistics about this first edition of our conference here. So we were, I would say, lucky enough, and we appreciate that, and they will thank you again. We could gather about 250 participants from different horizons. I mean, from breeders, cooperatives, experts, institutionals, with 18 keynote speakers that came from different horizons, different countries. Some are really far, South America, thank you very much. And Mauritania, and I cannot name all the countries, but again, thank you very much for accepting our invitation. 22 institutions have attended this conference, and we are, again, very honored to have them with us because they are part of our ecosystem. And we would like to continue working together to improve the livelihood of breeders living in those harsh conditions. As you have seen, we had selected 19 posters. 3 industrials shared with us their innovation, their initiatives that we encourage a lot. And I hope that with what they have learned today with us, they will improve their way of doing things, their practices. And again, we are here at Research Institute, and our doors are always open. If you have questions, if you need support, scientific support, technical support, you are more than welcome. We had a good coverage as well by the media. And we didn't put all the statistics there, but on the online, we have seen that we really reach many people. I have seen my colleague showing me 16,000 views, and so it's quite a significant participation and coverage. And also, in terms of oral presentations, you have seen in the program and during the 3 last days that we managed to select one of the best oral presentations, about 17. So thank you very much, and I will continue now my speech. When it comes to in this conference, you have witnessed that the program of this international conference was carefully set to cover the whole value chain of this sector. The major topics, as you have seen, we try to have either oral presentations or poster presentations, but in many cases we had both. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all, their participants, partners, presenters, and speakers for contributing to the success of this international conference. A special thanks is extended to Mr. the Wali of the Laayoune Saqiya al-Hamra region and governor of the province of Laayoune, who was willing to come. I mean, you met with him the first day in the opening session, and he was willing to attend with us this closing ceremony. But unfortunately, with some last-minute commitment, he could not join. But I can witness through this that he has been of a great support and sustainable support for us with all what we are doing here at ASARI, at our institute. Heartfelt thanks is also extended to our sponsors, Fusbukra Foundation, OCP Fusbukra, and UM6P, whose generous support has made this event possible. I would like to thank also the members of the organizing, the scientific and international advisory committees for their help and support. And I would like to invite you all, please, to join the stage here and to take a picture with all of the organizing committees. So Professor Al-Jassim, if you can please come with the other members, Professor Al-Saghiri, all the members of the organizing committee and scientific committee who are present with us. Some of them could not join, but many are here. So please go to the stage. I mean, I don't know how many hours, how many days, how many weeks they have spent with us to do this huge and tremendous work in gathering, selecting the presentations. So thank you very much, dear colleagues. Please join me to thank them. Please, they deserve applause. Thank you. Or maybe I will, for a picture, I will go here, then I will continue my speech. I'm almost done with my speech. Thank you. Thank you all. I should not forget anyone, so this is why I put some names here, but I apologize in case I forget someone. Of course, we cannot forget to thank the IT team who are in the back, Miriam and her team, for their work, but also for their patience, because they have been patient with us. Many of the presenters brought their, their presentations in last minute, but they were kind enough accepting this. Thank you very much. Finally, I would like to warmly thank our ASARI team for their hard work and strong commitment. Special thank, I cannot name everyone, but Hamdi, Ihsan, Zahra, Fadwa, all of you, thank you very much for your great support. Badawi, Bushra, remind me please if I forget someone at least. It's a long list, Badawi, so thank you all. I hope that you have spent nice time with us at UM6P here in Laayoune, and you had a fruitful and productive and enjoyable scientific discussion and a very pleasant stay in the southern part of the kingdom in Laayoune. Thank you very much. I would like also, we mentioned it before I finish because I saw my friend and the media. The media also, please thank them. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. I'm getting old. I'm getting old. I start to forget, which is very important. I have to go to the stage and I will say it in Arabic. Thank you very much, إحسان. بغيت نتفضل بالشكر الجزيل للكسابة والتعاونيات اللي ساهموا بواحد الشكل جيد وفريد. الله يخليكم صفقوا معايا عليهم. شفنا الاهتمام ديالهم بهذه المواضيع اللي ناقشناها، شفنا الأسئلة، يعني الأسئلة كانت pertinent، أسئلة في محلها اللي كانوا كيسألوا، وهذا كيدل على الاستعداد ديالهم للتعاون مع الباحثين ومع الأساتذة. فشكرا جزيلا الفلاحة والكسابة وليز اندستريال qui ont assisté avec nous. Merci beaucoup. Well, the next we will announce it with the organizing committee. We will decide the dates. We will try to have it regular. I would say most probably every 3 years in order to give you, dear scientists, researchers, enough time to produce enough scientific result to be shared with our colleagues here in the region. So the exact date for the second edition will be shared with you, inshallah, soon. Thank you very much. Of course, you are invited to the coffee break before we leave together afterwards. Thank you.